Thank you guys for agreeing to do this. I guess we'll just start out by getting your names.
Okay, I'm Marlene Golding.
And I'm Tom Golding.
Yep. Thank you guys for agreeing to the interview. I guess we'll start out next with where you guys were both born and where you grew up.
All right, I was born in Ann Arbor, Michigan at the University of Michigan Hospital, but I lived in Ypsilanti, Michigan,
Mhm.
and that's where I grew up.
Okay. And Papa, where were you born?
I was born in outside Tupelo, Mississippi.
Sherman,
What?
Sherman, Mississippi.
Well,
Yeah.
it don't matter.
How long did you live there for?
Uh, till I guess I moved to Michigan. I don't know.
You lived there until you were about 7 or 8, and then you moved to uh, Kingston, Tennessee. His dad was helping build the atomic bomb plant, and then the war ended, and they stopped the construction, and so they moved to Ypsilanti then for work.
Okay.
So his dad could work, and they had an uncle here already. Uncle Harold was here, and so they came up here then.
Okay. Do you know what year that was that you guys moved up? Papa was 7 or 8.
Well, that was when they went to Tennessee. I think it was about 11 when they came to Michigan.
Okay.
So that he was born in 34, 45 or 46.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah. Where did you both go to school?
I went to Belden Grammar School,
Okay.
and that's in Mississippi. And I went to high school in Kingston, Tennessee, I guess.
No, high school, you went to Roosevelt High School.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I forget.
Roosevelt
High School was in
Ypsilanti.
Ypsilanti, Michigan.
Yep.
Yep.
And I went to Prospect Elementary School, and then junior high was in the same building as the high school, and then graduated from Ypsilanti High School.
Yeah.
Okay. What year did you both graduate high school?
Mine was 1952.
And mine was 1955.
Okay. 3 years apart. Who were your best friends growing up?
Oh, I can't remember any of them.
What about Ron Mysick? What was his last
Mike
name?
Sell?
Yeah, that was a good friend in high school.
Yeah.
Well, and me.
Huh?
And me.
Yeah, and you.
Yeah.
When did you two start dating?
Oh boy, I don't know. I was in the 8th grade of all things. He was in the 11th grade, and like the end of the 8th grade. So, and I don't remember what year that was. And then then he had one more year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
I was a freshman and he was a senior, and then he graduated in 19. When did you graduate?
53, I think. 52.
1952, that's right. And I graduated in 1955. And do you remember when we got married? Then
Oh, married when? I don't remember.
February 1956.
Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds about right.
Yeah. And where did we live? Do you remember where we lived first when we got married?
Nope.
The village. What village did we live in?
Willow Village?
Willow Village. And what was that? What was that made for? You remember?
It was, I think it was a place where soldiers lived or got a job or something. I don't know.
Yep, they put that up for the bomber plant. They were building
Yeah,
the bomber
bomber plant.
plant in Ypsilanti, and they put up this, was supposed to be temporary housing, and I think it's still there
Mm-hmm.
now, little houses.
Yeah.
And then we had one of those when we first got married. Just a kitchen, living room, bedroom, bathroom, just a little, but enough room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
There weren't no kids then.
that's right. That was BC, before children.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was, we lived there then 1956, then to 1957. And then what did you do in 1957? We didn't live there anymore.
I
You
don't know what I
joined,
did.
you joined the what?
I didn't join the army.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't join it.
you,
They drafted me.
you did not. You signed up so you didn't get drafted.
Oh. Well, I guess that's sort of right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was July of 1956.
Yeah.
And then what'd you do? You know where you went next?
Um,
Fort Riley.
huh?
Fort Riley.
Yeah, Fort Riley, California, or not. Fort Riley, where is it at?
Kansas.
Huh, Kansas?
Was it hot there?
Yeah.
It was hot, wasn't it?
Hmm?
It was hot there.
Yeah.
You told me it was hot there.
Yeah, it was.
And then where'd you go? Then you went to Fort Knox
Yeah, I was at Fort Knox for a while.
and learned how to work on what?
I was a tank.
Yeah, and what part of the tank?
The gun, the big
The radio.
Well, but there's a radio in there and a gun too.
Yeah, that's right. And so then you went to Fort Knox, and then they shipped you off to Germany.
Yeah.
But all the while, I was slaving away at Ford Motor Company,
Yeah.
being a secretary. So I started working at Ford Motor Company in 1956. Started at the beginning of the year then. Then we got, no, I guess actually more like February or November of 55.
I don't
Yeah.
know. No, I made you quit.
Well, then you went to Germany, and then I joined you a year later.
And so you guys were.
Well, let's see. No, he went to Germany. He went to Germany in 57. After he'd been in the army, you went in 57, and then you went in January or something. I came in May
I
and
think
stayed
so.
57 or 58.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because you went in 57, and then we went in 58, and then came home in 59.
Okay.
You should have told me all this so I could have remembered it.
Do either of you have a favorite childhood memory that sticks out in your mind?
I can't think of any specific thing. I should have practiced up on this. But it's we just went wild out there, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we went to every place we could go. I went to, places that we never went back to again, but it was fun to see.
Oh, yeah, you went to in Chattanooga. What's the mountain in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and the mountains there?
Oh man.
We're trying to think of that last night, and then I forgot to look.
I'm not sure.
But anyway, you went there as a little boy, and that was good. My family, we never went on vacation or went anywhere or anything like that. I remember having girlfriends when we were little that lived in the neighborhood. And then in high school, one of my best friends was June. Her name was June Turner. Her parents owned a restaurant down in Depottown. And my grandpa owned the barber shop in Depottown. He was worked there for about 36 years, I guess. And So anyway, June and I were real good friends, and she wound up marrying my uncle, who was like about 8 or 9 years older than me. I think he was 8 years older than June. And then my mother and her twin sister were about 8 years older than he was.
Okay.
So that's, I mean, it sounds funny that she married my uncle, but
Mhm.
it wasn't. And then June was a year older than me, actually. So uh, anyway, that's what happened to her. And so we were good friends, and just, I don't think I really had one particular girlfriend. There was a girl, June didn't go the same church as I did. So there was a girl that had moved here from Kentucky, and her name was Grace. And she and I were real good friends, although she graduated 2 years ahead of me. So, but she was good friends, part of the youth group. And that we had a big youth group. And so we were all real good friends in youth group. Mhm.
Good. And you guys met when you were in high school. How did you know that you had found the one, or how did you know that the two of you were supposed to get married?
I don't know. I couldn't answer that, but when I saw her, I said, I think I'm gonna marry her.
I think he did too, really.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And I think it wasn't long after that you did ask me to marry you. I was about in the 10th grade, but I didn't tell you yes right away.
Yeah, I didn't get married right away either.
No, you didn't. But yeah, so that actually then we didn't go out with anybody else. So I guess that was it.
What was your
What
wedding like?
um First of all, let me say
Yeah.
that was all the Lord's doing, really.
Mhm.
My family situation was not a good situation, and so his family really was a stabling thing for me. And so uh, what was that question, Tommy?
Just when you knew that you'd found the one.
Oh, so in that time period, from we met and for the first couple 3 years, and uh, then we just, I'd always thought we'd have a big wedding, but again, uh, things just didn't work out that way. So we actually kind of had a double wedding with Tom's sister, Doris, and her husband. Her first husband was Jim. And so,
Do you have any particularly fond memories from your wedding, or people that were there, or um, where it was?
who stood up with us when we got married? Yes, Ed and Miriam,
Huh?
the Worsnicks.
Oh, yeah.
Your best friend.
Yeah, Ed
Was,
Worsnick.
yeah, he was your best friend, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
You got anything to say about Ed?
About what?
Just anything about Ed.
Oh, he was a good guy, well respected, and when we met, we just started hanging out together for all that time. I mean,
Yeah.
it was I don't know, just like a one-time thing, and all of a sudden we said, "That's going to be my friend," and it was for
Yeah.
a long, long time.
Yep.
Still is, but not. We're not together very much anymore.
No.
You know, so
And,
it was
yeah, and then that,
really a oddball situation, but we made it fine.
and I guess too, talking about friends, then Miriam, Ed married Miriam, who actually was kind of a cousin, and she and I had been friends like when maybe I was in the 6th and 7th grade, and she was um, 9th and 10th grade, and then we didn't hang out for a while, and then um, I think it was about 19. I don't know for sure. I was a senior maybe when we kind of met up again and really started hanging out with she and Ed because they were engaged at that time, and just they were then our really best friends for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah.
All right. But that wasn't the question you asked us, was it?
No, that's good. I'm enjoying the conversation wherever it goes. Do either of you want to get a glass of water or take a break, or are you doing good?
I'm doing good.
All right. What was your favorite thing to do in Germany while you were there?
Sightseeing.
Sightseeing?
I think we like to see and explore things, and so we go out and see old places and in the mountains, and it was just a good, fun time. And we did a lot of stuff outside and had some friends down there, and that's one of the favorite times of my life was going up down there. It was really a lot of fun, and we knew some nice people, and yeah, about it.
Still did make a lot of friends and had them all the years, and I think there's Bonnie is still living in Louisiana. She's a couple years older than me. Freddie died a few years ago, and most of the people that we were in Germany with, a lot of them are gone. The one in Texas that we went to see when we came to see you, he just passed away in December, just right before his 89th birthday. And so we got to see him when was that? 2019 when we came to see you. Yeah. So really, Bonnie's still going and we're still going. Most all of them are dead that we were there with and had a good time. And we went to Paris and London and the Netherlands.
I see, yeah.
Went to Belgium, saw the World's Fair, skiing in the Alps.
Yeah.
Vienna.
Yeah, we saw a lot of stuff over there.
What was the World's Fair like?
It was very nice. The Atonium was their great big thing for that fair. And we just like the fairs are, all different displays, and every country had a display. And actually that was so long ago. We remember being there, and I know we stayed at a place. The next morning they had the best breakfast, which was really just cold cuts and what I want to say, butter without unsalted butter, and rolls and that kind of stuff. That was the best breakfast, wasn't it? Coffee.
Mm-hmm. Well, we had a lot of good memories of there because we didn't stay in a little area. We went all over the mountains and looked to see what we could see, and enjoyed exploring and stuff like that. So, and seeing there'd be people that we got to know that lived there and knew a lot of the background on it, and it was a real fun time. I remember a lot of good times there.
We played a lot of pinochle with Fred and Bonnie.
Yeah.
And actually saw a lot of movies.
Yeah, we saw
movies theater.
We met a lot of nice people that we still know, and some of them aren't here anymore, but a lot of them were still available if we need to see them, or they're there, and it was a great time. I don't really regretted them all. It was a fun time.
Good.
Because I had never, when I was a kid, I've never been much of any place, and we got to see these people and got to know them, and some of them aren't around anymore, but we enjoyed our time together.
we got together a few times too after we all came back and
Yeah.
had a couple of different reunions. So it was nice.
Yeah.
All right. What is your favorite game or activity, or what did it what is it now, or what did it used to
We
be?
played a lot of euchre.
Yeah, we like euchre, don't we?
Yeah.
That's about all we do now.
I
But,
haven't played euchre in a long time, though. That's the problem.
Well, yeah, you have, honey.
Yeah, I just
A
don't
couple
remember it.
months ago, yeah. Well, we used to like the water ski, right?
Yeah.
That was fun. We used to bowl. We
Yeah.
were on a bowling league. Did that.
And we did a lot of, when we traveled, and when I was in the Army, we would go places we'd never been before and get to see them. And what was that place where we had had the World's Fair or something there? What was
Yeah,
that?
that was in Brussels to the World's Fair. Yeah.
Brussels, Belgium.
Hmm. We had enjoyed the Netherlands too when we went to Holland. That was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we traveled whenever we could. Every time we get a chance, we'd go somewhere. And I enjoyed that. I really did. Yeah. Because I hadn't seen much of the world at that time. And now I'm getting to see places that I'd only heard about.
Yeah.
And it worked out real good because we were able to get a car
Yeah.
and travel around and meet some nice people and just a good time.
We had a cute
enjoyed
little
it.
car, didn't we? An Opel.
Yeah, it was an Opel,
It's white. Yeah.
a white Opel. Yeah, and
Was that
and we
your
were the
first-
only ones that had a car,
Oh, okay.
so we hauled them around too.
Was that your first car?
You mean
The Opel?
that he owned?
Mhm.
Oh no.
No.
What
But-
was your first car?
We were trying to think of that last night.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. but
Some green car. We called it a funny name, the Green Bug or something,
yeah, I
because
can't
he had
remember.
been driving his brother's Ford Coupe, wasn't it? Was
Yeah.
that? Well, Lester was in the service, so we drove his brother's car. Then he got this old green car, and the heater didn't work, and he had some contraption or something to make heat or something because it was in the wintertime that we had that car. And then you got the convertible, the red convertible. So then we had that for the latter part of my high school days. And after he was out of high school, he had the red convertible. And then when we got married, then after the red convertible, when we did get married, you had a Pontiac.
Yeah, 52, I think. I don't remember.
Anyway, we had this Pontiac. That's what we went to on our honeymoon with that car, which was Chicago. We went to the big
Yippee,
city
went to
for our
Chicago.
honeymoon.
Huh.
And then we bought a brand new 1955 Ford what?
I don't remember.
Convertible.
Yeah, it was a convertible, but
Ford convertible.
yeah.
So we bought that right after we got married. And then he went in the service. Then the next year he went in the service. And then I sold that before I went to Germany. And then I don't know what we got when we came home. It wasn't any new convertible, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Well, but we
Some-
spent a lot of time just traveling and seeing things we'd never seen before. You know, and we covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
So
A lot of
that,
miles on the Opel.
yeah, it was a cute little car.
Yeah,
And we would squeeze, and especially the girls, none of the other wives had cars either. So like if we had to go to town to get groceries or whatever, that
we'd have to haul them.
yeah, we'd have to haul them.
What's a funny story or quote that you like?
Boy, that's going to take some thinking.
We were trying to think about this last night too.
Yeah. I,
We can come back to it if you want.
Yeah,
All right, we'll come back
we'll
to
think
it.
about those. Yeah.
What is the most important thing in your life?
Is that right?
yeah.
Well, let me think of what's the most important thing in my life. Well, of course, the Lord is the most important thing in our life, in your life too, in both of our lives. Actually, that's what brought us together.
Mhm.
We met at church, and he was already a Christian. I wasn't, and so really, the Lord brought us together. The Lord's kept us together, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe for a while yet.
And so, yeah, the Lord. And then, oh my gosh, our family.
We got to see
I'll be
places
crying.
we'd never seen before.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of covered a lot of land over there, and
But
it was fun.
But what about what's important to us, the Lord and us and our family, and what about this wonderful family we have?
Which
That's-
ones?
All of them. All of them.
All of them.
Well,
Okay.
we're not going to do any picking favorites right
No.
now, but just to think about what the Lord has given
We've
us.
met
Our
a lot of
children,
people.
Our children,
Yeah.
14 wonderful grandchildren. And now we're getting all these in-laws. Huh.
How
No.
many great grandkids do you have
Only 2.
so far?
Yep.
Yeah.
One will be 2 in June, and the other one will be, she's going to be 4 then in November. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
What advice would you give to newlyweds? You're talking about all these in-laws coming in. What marital advice can you give us?
I guess I'd just say, remember the things in your life that you would like to have again, and think about it for the rest of your life, because we met a lot of people that are still important to us, and she was one of them. But it's we've had a good life. I have no complaints, and we wound up living in a lot of different places, and it's been a whole good thing all the way.
read me that question again, Tommy.
What advice would you give to newlyweds?
Well, you've got to not put yourself first.
I do.
I know that's the problem with this family. No, first of all, the Lord has to be first.
Mhm.
Now, I'm not saying that we always remember that. That's for sure. But really, for newlyweds, yep, you need the Lord in your life, and that you need to ask Him, and that's hard to do because we want to go our own way and what have you. But remember the Lord, and remember to put the other person first. I don't know. Just try and get along.
You guys have made it work. How long have you been married now? Almost. See, it was
130 years.
68 years.
68 years,
Yeah.
so almost 70 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Put up with one woman.
It's pretty cool though. That's not many people can say that they've been married 68 years.
Yeah.
That's something
Yeah.
to admire, something to aspire to.
It really is. I mean, I can remember before our 50th wedding anniversary, I was like, "Oh Lord, please let us get to 50 years." As it got closer, I was thinking, "Well, we're going to die before 50 years gets here." And I just was kind of silly about it, I guess. But I at least wanted to be married 50 years, and now look at how much longer it's been. Oh my!
Yeah. Well,
You got to make it to 80 now.
Yeah. No, I've been telling the Lord 70.
All right.
I'm gonna look for 70.
I'm gonna go for 120.
What is your greatest accomplishment in life?
It's being married 68 years.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one.
Absolutely.
I don't know how I did it.
Oh,
No,
really?
we just shared everything and did everything together. And whether that was in Germany or France or wherever we happened to be,
Here.
we made a point of enjoying everything we had available to us.
Mhm.
And so we met people we would have never met before in the world.
But
And
what about now? In
Huh?
all these years,
what?
what have we enjoyed? Just our family?
Yeah.
Have we?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
Most of the time. Tell me that question again.
I just asked what your greatest accomplishment was.
Oh, yeah. What's our greatest accomplishment ever? Being married 68 years?
that's about the
And what
stretch of it.
else?
Yeah. Huh?
What else?
And
Our children.
we got to see a lot of the world,
Yeah, but what about our children?
and we got to see them grow up.
Yep. The kids have grown up and look at all they've accomplished.
Do you have anything that you want to say to them, your 4 kids?
I'd have to think about that.
Yeah.
You sprung that one on me.
Yeah.
We've been proud of all of our kids, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Very proud of them and what they've accomplished and what they've done, who they've married, you know.
Yeah.
Golly, and then their children. Oh, I mean, the Lord has really, really blessed us with good kids, they all married nice, they all have nice partners, that no divorce or anything in the families. Knowing the Lord, yeah, the Lord's blessed us beyond measure.
What would you say is the key to happiness? How can you be happy in life?
Put her first.
Yeah, it's,
At least I try to.
yeah, you do. Of course, I have to think about that. Is that you said the greatest accomplishment?
What has made you happy, or how can somebody be happy?
Oh, well, the Lord in my life makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think about all that He has given us, all that we have, all this material stuff that we have. And then our children, and 4 children that really don't, we haven't had any real disasters. Well, we lost one grandbaby. But, our children were fine. Our grandchildren have been fine. Great grandchildren. The Lord's just blessed us beyond measure.
Gratitude.
Yeah, that we're very grateful for all that He's done for us. I mean, just down to the little bitty things, I just, I think, I kind of keep and ask the Lord all the time for this or that, or thank Him for this or that, just the littlest thing, because it all comes together and works together, and try to Try to have a happy attitude. Oh.
As long as she does what I tell her. I guess I don't really have a good thing to say about other than it's the Lord provided, and we've been able to enjoy a long time together. And how much more we're going to have, I don't know. How much more is anybody going to have? We don't know. We got to look forward. At the same time, remember where we've been and where we're going.
Oh, you should have been recording that.
I was.
Oh, very good.
Here, I'll stop it for the phone call. Next up, I have some questions from the family. First question comes from Emma.
Oh,
It's a couple of questions. What is your favorite thing about each other? And then what is something that the other person does that annoys you a little bit? What's your favorite thing and something that annoys you?
what's my favorite thing about?
What do you hate about me?
Wait a minute. What's the favorite thing about him that I like?
I don't know. Nothing.
He's just been always really easy to get along with. We've never fought much or had very many disagreements or fights or
Yeah, so you think.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's been an easy life. I mean,
we haven't. I mean, not that we don't get mad at each other or yell once in a
I
while,
don't ever get mad at you.
but
No, it's been a good life, and I think the Lord has played a big part in that, because we depend on each other and we depend on the Lord, and things so far have worked out just beautiful. I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. Of course, a little more money would have helped, but that's okay. I don't need much. No, it's been a good life. I look at some people and wonder, how did they get so mad at the world, you know? But there's a lot of people like that. They just, nothing goes right for them ever, you know. But
I think one thing, we both came from nothing.
yeah,
You know, particularly you know. So we just really, and maybe, well, my family really didn't have any more money or anything, but not where with. We grew up a little bit more modern in the beginning, where with him, you know, I mean, when he was little, they still had an outdoor toilet and no electricity, you know. So we didn't really come from much, and so we never
it all worked out all
maybe
right.
we didn't dream real big or something, you know, or think that we had to have more than what we had.
It's been a good life. I
I
mean,
don't know. Oh,
things have happened that, you know, was disappointing and we're not happy about and all that. But I think back and say, well, but look at all the things we've got to do in this world, that we've been and seen places we've never even heard of before, and got to do things we could only dream about doing. And so it was all worked out right. Can't complain about it.
yeah, and yeah, for the most part, we've been very happy.
Yeah, when you were not happy?
Emma,
No, we've had a good life.
Papa made a joke about a little bit more money would have been nice. Emma asked, if you could change one thing about your life, what would it be? Is that it, or would there be anything else?
What would we change about our life? I would change that Tom wouldn't had all the health problems he's had,
Yeah.
you know,
That's
that,
been tough.
but, and he's dealt with his cancer for 28, 29 years, which, he's done with, he had it and that was it, and just moved on and never really complained about it or anything. He just says that someday, when he gets to heaven, he won't have to fool of that anymore. And so that was really a setback, kind of. But he said, well, that's the way it is, and we just moved on. And kind of like with the last 3 years, well, it's the way things are right now, but we just have to move on. Sometimes he gets discouraged, and well, it could be a lot worse than what it is, so I don't know.
Well, I mean, we've got some good kids,
Yeah,
some grandkids.
yeah. So what was Emma's last question? No, I can't.
That answered it. That answered
Yeah.
it. My mom asked, how did having children shape you?
Wow.
Or did it?
Of course, not having any siblings, I didn't know a whole lot, about family life, really. And then with the way my family was, I really didn't know anything about family life. But it made it made me happy to have children. And there again, the Lord, we knew that we wanted our children to be brought up in the church. And so that shaped a bunch of our life. It shaped a great deal of our life too, as to how we did things. But the children brought a lot of joy to us.
Mm-hmm.
But then, of course, we were so long before I had any kids. Then it was like, oh my goodness, what have we gotten ourselves into?
Well, it's like growing up like where I did and how I did. It's a wonder I even got this far. I mean, I was not. I mean, I remember when I got my first car. It was a long time after most people who had one, and but we've always had been able to get where we wanted to go and do what we wanted to do, and that's the thing I think about and try to look at instead of the things that I didn't get to do.
I'm thankful the Lord allowed us to have children, and I think it really has blessed us and made us have a different outlook on life that we wouldn't have had without children. It just, yeah.
Not even come along. He came along even.
I know it.
Yep.
And he didn't get born on my birthday. Got born on Margie's birthday.
Yeah.
Well,
Boy, I'm telling you.
no, it's
But
been
the grandchildren have just been really a delight as they've come along. Each one of them have been special to us. And, and the children have been special too, most of the time.
How did you make decisions as parents when there was an issue to deal with?
I think we prayed about it a lot. Just to know, Lord, show me what to do. Because I know we made a lot of mistakes and stuff like that, but somehow He got us through it. And that's what I appreciate, that we can get over the bumps of the road.
You know, actually, our children didn't cause us very many problems.
Mm-mm.
Now, there might be a lot that went on that we didn't know about. That
Could be.
very well could be. But as far as giving us a lot of grief, they didn't at
Mhm.
all. And like I say, if they were in trouble or anything that we didn't know about, or they were probably lots of stuff that we don't know about. um, but yeah, I think that they all love the Lord and you know, kind of behave themselves.
Next question from Mom is, what vacation memory stands out, if any?
As a family vacation, then, well, what about all of our camping trips?
Yeah.
I think were extra special out at Sugarloaf Campground.
Yeah.
You know, they were special, but we had a nice one. Jill didn't go because she was out of school and in college. But a nice one. We went to New York with the boys, Niagara Falls, and to, now I forgot those lakes that we visited
Mm.
in New York, New York State. That was a very nice vacation with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
We've been to Mississippi with them, been to Chattanooga with them. And it, did she mean as a family?
Mhm.
Yeah, actually, we didn't take a whole lot of actual family vacations. Up north, we took a real nice one way up in the UP one time. That was good. We had a camper and we had a top on the camper, but it leaked. I think you and I slept out there, and the kids slept in the trailer. So that was a nice vacation. But mostly our vacations were out at Sugarloaf, and that they loved, and so did we, with the Kent family. And when we started out, they had 5 children, and we had 3 children. And then she and I each had another one, so they wound up with 6, and we had 4. And so that was a lot of fun. We camped with them for 13 years.
Wow.
So
Every year?
Every year.
Yeah.
Yep. We met them out at Sugarloaf when Tom and Tim were 6 months old, and we camped for the next 13 years. And then they moved to Colorado. So
Last question for my mom is, what person has shaped your life the most?
I would say when I first got married, it was Miriam,
Mhm.
Miriam Worsnick, because she was older. She's 3 years older and was married, and so we hung out with from well, how old? I don't know. Probably from the time we were 14. I was 14 when we started kind of hanging out with Ed and Miriam. And so, and then they got married, but we, you know, were hanging out with them all the time. And so I was learning to cook from her, and um, just how to have a nice meal, you know, set a nice table, stuff like that. So I would say she early on, especially in our beginning of our married life, yeah, she's the most that influenced me. Mm-hmm. What about you? And of course they were Christians too, so.
Yeah.
And who influenced you the most? Your dad?
That'd be hard for me to say. My dad was a good guy, and he ran a tight ship. So I learned the good and the bad, you know, able to do that. And I mean, he didn't pound it into us. We lived by his example. I think that's the best way to say it. He never preached to us, or he never demanded or anything like that. But I could tell he was a loss, and we got along fine.
Yeah.
So,
Good.
Yeah. Of course, Tom's mother, too, was a big influence on my life.
Yeah. Good. I actually do have another 2 questions from my mom. I'll break them up. The first one is regarding your relationship with Christ. What is one thing you did as individuals or as a couple that you feel was the most important in your walk? What was the most important thing you did did or do in your faith, either together or as individuals?
I would say going to church every Sunday
Yeah.
and Wednesday night and Sunday night. I mean, we were not big Bible studiers, and I hate to say this, but we very seldom had family devotions. But just, I mean, we were at church, Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Yes, that was probably, yeah. Did that answer the question?
It did. If you could pass one piece of advice to the next generation, what would it be?
What do you want to tell the next generation?
I'm trying to think about that. I know that when the kids were growing up, our kids were growing up, we try to instill in them the things you should or should not be doing, and standing by it. Don't wish-washy. If it was bad yesterday, it's probably going to be bad tomorrow. And if it's good today, it'll probably be good tomorrow. So it's a matter of seeing what the Lord has provided for us in order to live the life that we should. And so I guess this stuff like that affected me from the very beginning. And of course, I grew up in a family that went to church, and that makes a lot of difference in growing up. And even though you're a kid, you think, "What am I going to be here for?" But it's we learn from those experiences, and that's what I appreciated, because I had people around me who were examples for me, and I realized it, and made the best of it. So I thought,
Tell me that question again, Tommy.
What is one piece of solid advice that you want to pass on to the next generation?
One thing I'll say about Tom, he knew early on his relationship with the Lord and always stuck with it. From, early on, he knew the Lord, and he used to put that in different words, but I can't think of what it is now. But he knew what kind of a life he wanted.
All right. Thank you both. I got another question from Emma. What does the number 5 mean?
Oh, we might leave that before we die.
All right, we'll pass on to the next one. Uncle John asks, what music, songs, or hymns do you really like? And if there is one in particular, would you like to sing it?
Oh, there's so many songs. We were listening to some CDs on our trip up and down, and there's this black fellow. Oh, he's got a beautiful voice. Whitney Phelps.
Phipps.
Phipps. Oh my goodness. So he was singing Just a Closer Walk with Thee.
Mm-hmm.
That was beautiful. What's the other? Now I can't even think the other ones that there's just so many
Yeah.
that I don't know that I have a favorite one, and it's kind of like it's I'll have one for a while, and then something else comes along. And of course the old music from the 70s, the old, like when we used to have cantatas and stuff at church, that type of music. Just so many songs. Do you have a favorite song?
Well, the one that comes to mind is Just a Closer Walk with Thee.
Yeah.
Would you guys like to sing a little bit of that?
I can't sing.
I'll sing it with you.
I don't
Hey.
even know how much I could sing with it now. Oh no, then there's a refrain.
Huh?
Do you know what key to sing it in?
I'll join in wherever you guys are.
Weak, but thou art strong. Ready? I am weak, but thou art strong. Jesus, keep me from all wrong. I'll be satisfied as long as I walk. Let me walk close to thee. Just a closer walk with thee. Granted, Jesus is my plea. Daily walking close to thee. Let it be, dear Lord, let it be.
Thank you both. I'll take that. I appreciate it. That's all of the questions that I had written out. The one that we said we might revisit was a funny story or quote, if you have anything in mind. If not, we can wrap it up. Or if there's anything else that you want to say.
Let me think a minute. You think of anything you want to say? Well, yeah.
Well,
you can turn it on.
I just,
Is it going?
It's going now.
Oh, okay. I thought you had turned it out.
I'm thinking how over the years we've been able to see things happen that probably most people have never been able to see. Because we would be seeing a lot of the world and been places we'd never dreamed of before. But I still, I want to come back home and see all the things that God has done for us, and just think about that song about the closer walk.
Mm-hmm.
And we get off that track sometimes, but that's where we're supposed to be. And I don't know. Are you?
Well, I'm just looking at you, Tommy, and just so proud of all the grandkids that the Lord has given us, and the kids and the in-laws. Each one, Jill and Jim, and then your dad and your mom, Uncle Tim and Aunt Jill, Uncle John and Aunt Tracy. God, it's been good. We just really, I know we're nothing, we don't have perfect families. I said, we don't have perfect families. And maybe we're too proud
To what?
Maybe we're too proud of what we got. We get awful proud of our families and our kids and our grandkids.
You're supposed to be proud of them if they're being worthy of it.
I know. It just is, God has been so good to us, and
Yeah.
now we're getting all these new ones in the family, and they're all, just seem like they fit right in, right where they're supposed to. And I'm waiting for you to get one to fit right in there. And Nicole's waiting for one to fit in there too. And but we don't know what God has for us either. If you're supposed to have a mate or not supposed to have a mate. But anyway, we're just very thankful for what we've got and appreciate
That's
what
one
the
of them
Lord has
sitting right
given us.
there.
Yeah. So
Oh, it's been a good life, and I'm
I
just
think
proud of all of them.
kick you in the hiney now.
Hmm?
I'll kick you in the hiney.
Well, it's hard to remember all the things you should be doing and saying and all that, but all in all, I have to say you had a good life, and the kids have been pretty much, for the most part, good and people we could be proud of. And not everything works out perfect, but a lot of it does too. And I think we got to remember that.
Now I have a thought. Now I'd like to ask every one of the kids and in-laws and grandkids what they think of us and our situation and what they've experienced with their grandmas and their grandma and grandpa all these years.
Yeah, well, I
How
don't know.
about we have everybody, we'll send the video out to everybody, everybody can watch it, and everybody can write you a little note or a little letter with the answer to that question. Would that be all right?
Yeah.
All right, we'll do that. We'll do that.
What do they really think?
Yeah. Oh,
That's right.
well,
Oh,
Well, thank you both so much for your time. I'm glad that we did this.
I am too, I guess.
Love you guys.
Does it make sense?
It does, yeah.
Love you too, honey. Really do.
Just in time.
Oh,
get my note?
well, look, there's another one right there.
yeah, there he is.
What did your note say?
He's a big one.
Put it on airplane mode.
Are y'all cracked?
Pause the video if that happens.
Y'all cracked up?
Yeah, they did a lot more than normal. It's normally 5 minutes. That was a lot longer.